What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Star Wars on High. Star Wars Celebration is in full swing today, holding nothing back and giving us all the information we've been waiting for what feels like years. And right off the bat, with the new High Republic panel starting off, they are not holding anything in. They are giving us a bunch of brand new products coming out with Phase 2 starting later this year in October. Before we get to any of the new announcements on the new books, we have some concept art from some of the new characters that we can expect to see, including this very interesting one of Chancellors Greylark and Maul. The concept behind these two is that one of them is a senator from the inner core and one is from the outer core, both focusing on opposite sides, trying to bring the entire galaxy together under the Republic. We're also moving into a combination of Jedi and the Republic with the Pathfinder team. Now, with these teams, we have the Pathfinders and the Jedi that are going out into the outer core, trying to focus on establishing communications between the inner and outer cores of the galaxy. Now, whether or not the communications team and the Jedi are going to be getting along through these stories, I'm not sure, but I imagine there will be some push and pull between the two teams before tragedy inevitably strikes. We also got to look at some new Jedi characters. We have a Twi'lek by the name of Mathia Cathli and another Jedi, Olivia Zeveron. I'm not really sure what their roles will be as of yet, but I do know that we're going to see more of Kathy a little later in the comics. And as they told us before when Phase 1 ended, that we should be on the lookout for Arkoff, for he is returning in the newest manga that's going to be coming out at some point that was not announced, but we do see him with his new droid ZZ-10. And this next image with this masterful illustration of the Dank Grax, the new villains of this era, poorly drawn by Daniel Jose Oler because apparently he did not plan for this, but the concept is that these are outcasts of dark side Sith cults around the galaxy that are terrible at using the Force but hold nothing back and are just filled with hate. And I imagine that this is going to take the place of the Nile in Phase 2, and we'll see how this turns out. Based on this image right now, I think it's hilarious, and I think those are actually going to be pretty good villains, so don't judge a book by its cover, and certainly not by Daniel Jose's art. We did get some reoccurring images that we saw for Path of Deceit, starting with Marda Ro, as we've seen before, as well as the Mother, who looks fantastic, by the way, but we got a new one as well called the Herald. Now, I don't know what role any of these people are going to play. I do know the Herald and the Mother are both tied in with the cult that is against the Force users, so I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of him as well when Path of Deceit comes out later this year. So we do have a lot of novels and comics and even some audio dramas to talk about now. We have 13 new projects, some that we already know about, but we have a lot more information on some of them now, in no particular order, starting with the new adult novel Convergence by Zoraida Cordova, featuring Jedi Knight Gela Natai on the cover. Now, the cover art is not final, but I imagine they're going to stick with this kind of style regardless, and they're just trying to polish it up. The next is one that I'm going to be over the moon excited for. It is going to be an audio drama read by George Mann, and that is The Battle for Jedha. We see a lot of Jedha in Rogue One and potentially in the Andor series, we're not sure as of yet, but seeing what happened to Jedha and why it turned into a war zone would be amazing, considering that this is going to be about 400 years before the events of Rogue One. We have another long-awaited Marvel comic miniseries from Charles Soule titled The Blade, and is going to be focusing on the Blade of Bardata, Porter Engle, and we're going to be figuring out what happened in his past to give him that name and why he decided to leave everyone behind and focus on just cooking off on his own. The main Marvel comic run for the High Republic will be continuing with Cavan Scott, focusing on Jedha as well. And on top of that, we do have the Jedi on the cover, the first one being Maddie, the Twi'lek we saw earlier, and a new Jedi known as Vidlar Mac, who comes to Jedha to try to center himself with the Force. A really cool one we have coming out is an Art of the High Republic book, which is something that I've been wanting for a very long time because all of this concept art that's been coming out, you have to put it into one place. And that, of course, is being written by the one and only Kristen Baver, the host of This Week in Star Wars. The first round of Dark Horse comics is going to be coming out as well with the High Republic Adventures series, with another miniseries called The Nameless Terror. Moving on to the middle grade novel, we have Quest for the Hidden City, written by George Mann. Again, beautiful artwork. These middle grade books, while they may not be for everyone, they're actually very fun stories, and I definitely don't think you should sleep on them. One thing that I think is really amazing is that they're taking all of these short stories for the High Republic that were in these Star Wars Insider issues and converting them into one whole story called Starlight Stories by Titan, and this is going to involve stories from Justina Ireland, Cavan Scott, and Charles Soule. And on top of that, we have another, what I imagine is going to be short stories book coming out called Chronicles of the Jedi by Cole Horton. This is potentially, the only thing we know about this right now is that it's potentially going to have info on Phase 2 and possibly Phase 3. But we're not done there, as we also have 3 new books for what I'm going to say is Wave 2 of Phase 2 for spring of 2023, starting with the adult novel Cataclysm by Lydia Kang, and then the middle grade book Quest for Planet X by Tessa Granton, and the young adult novel Path of Vengeance by Cavan Scott. Now, there is a lot here. That is 13 brand new projects that are all going to be coming out starting in October of this year, and I can't tell which one I'm most excited for. At first glance, I think it's interesting that we finally have Cavan Scott writing a young adult novel. Everything he's written so far has been phenomenal, and I really look forward to seeing what these stories are all about. It is a whole lot of new information, and going over all of these individually would take a severe amount of time, so hopefully this quick little news dump will keep you guys caught up. If you want to know more about any of these books in particular, let us know in the comments down below, and Josh and I will get to covering that. But until then, Star Wars Celebration is in full swing. Day 1 is officially over. Hope you stick around for the other days as we cover them, and we hope to see you again very soon.